Today, we're going to tear down and rebuild one of the most haunting figures in fiction. This isn't just a villain. This is a being that takes high-level physics and weaponizes philosophy. We're about to explore the anatomy of total annihilation.
Okay, this quote right here, this is the key to everything. You have to forget about good versus evil, right? Right versus wrong. That's not how he operates. His judgment is on the totally different level, existence or non-existence. It's just a cold, cosmic math problem, and the answer is always, always erasure.
So to really get a handle on this guy, you've got to start with the massive contradiction at his core. I mean, just look at his two names, the Sapphire Jester and the Redeemed Judge. How can he be both?
Well, think of it like this. As the Jester, he's the ultimate troll. He's the master of ceremonies for the death of your ego, making all of life, all of existence, seem like one huge cosmic joke. But then, as the Judge, he's the one who delivers the punchline. And that punchline is always oblivion.
So you have to ask, how does anyone end up like this? How do you become the perfect weapon for the void? Well, it all starts with a problem he was actually designed to solve. The awful, grinding pain of being an individual in a universe that sees you as a mistake.
See, he started out as a striver, and for him, being self-aware wasn't some gift from the gods. It was a curse. It was this constant, gnawing, unbearable pain. They call it the terror of being. Imagine being trapped in a prison, but the prison is your own mind, and you would do anything to escape.
And this, right here, lays out the whole conflict. For the system he serves, everything that makes you you, your thoughts, your memories, the people you love, that's all just a bug in the code. It's an error that creates friction. And the fix, the ideal state, to become a mindless duplicate, a uniform building block in a perfectly, terribly silent machine. Now, his transformation, it wasn't some tragic accident. Oh no, it was a step-by-step, methodical process. A journey with one single destination, to strip away every last piece of his identity until absolutely nothing was left. You know the classic hero's journey, right? Well, this is its dark reflection, its complete opposite. There's no great wisdom to be found here, no prize to bring back to humanity. This is a pilgrimage into nothingness, a guided fall into perfect emptiness, all just to forge the ultimate weapon for a corrupt system. And get this, he didn't do it alone. He had mentors, a whole team of them, making sure he never once thought about turning back. They were the ones who taught him that real peace comes from being absorbed into something bigger, that your unique self is just static, and that, in the end, all life is just fuel. Okay, now we get to the really wild part, the physics of his transformation. This is the moment where all that abstract, nihilistic philosophy gets turned into a literal weapon, powered by the fundamental forces of the universe. So how does he do it? By becoming a master of physics. And the first piece of the puzzle is something called the Z-pinch. It's a real concept from fusion research, where you use incredibly powerful magnetic fields to squeeze and contain super hot plasma. In his hands, this scientific principle becomes the ultimate defense. You see, those sapphire robes he's wearing, they aren't cloth. They're a constantly flowing magnetic field. Any attack, any force, is instantly pinched by the field and just flows right around him, completely harmless. He's untouchable. The second piece of his power set is magnetohydrodynamics. Yeah, I know, it's a mouthful. Let's just call it MHD. But basically, it's a way to take the kinetic energy from a moving fluid, say the plasma inside him, and convert it directly into raw, destructive power. And this is the part you really need to get. He doesn't use power. His entire being is a power source. He is literally a walking engine of physics. Every single movement, every gesture he makes, channels the energy from his internal plasma core and turns it into devastating force. So, the transformation is complete. His twisted journey is over, and now he returns. Not with a gift or a warning, but with a verdict. A final sentence to be delivered on the very idea of being an individual. And the way he carries out this sentence, it's just horrifyingly efficient. He can reach out with a single fingertip and unleash a tiny, focused plasma torch. It instantly vaporizes a person into nothing but ionized gas. There's no blood, no body, not even ash. They're just gone. But his second method? Somehow it's even worse. He literally consumes people's individuality to keep himself going. Using a process like microwave plasma gasification, he breaks down living beings into simple inert gas and then absorbs it as fuel. It's the ultimate reveal. The system he serves is nothing more than a parasite that feeds on souls.
So, what's the point of all this? Why does this character matter? Well, the Sapphire Jester is so much more than a typical villain. He's an archetype. He's a powerful warning about what happens when we willingly surrender ourselves to a bigger system. It could be anything, a cult, a state, or just the overwhelming pressure to fit in. This analogy just nails it perfectly. He's the end result of a process that takes a unique, living, breathing person, melts them down into a liquid slurry, and then pours them into a mold to make a perfectly uniform brick for some giant wall. In a twisted way, he's the system's greatest masterpiece.
And here it is. This is the truly terrifying part of his whole deal. He doesn't just destroy his victims. He gets them to want it. He convinces them that the burden of being free, of being an individual, is just too much to handle, and that being erased isn't a punishment. It's peace.
Which leaves us with one last really uncomfortable question to think about. If you live in a universe where just being aware is constant agony, where freedom feels like this crushing weight, is complete and total annihilation a sentence? Or could it be a twisted kind of salvation?